In this situation, we have unpolarized light coming in from the left, and we have two polarizing filters. The first one is at position A, and it's oriented vertically, and the second one is at position E, and it's oriented 90 degrees with respect to the first one. So let's take a look. Part A, we're looking at what is the intensity between the two filters, let's say at point B. The intensity of the light at point B. Well, we have unpolarized light coming in. We have a filter, a polarizing filter, so the light intensity on the other side of that filter is going to be half of what came in. So the light intensity at B is going to be our original over 2. Now we want to know what's the intensity at point F. Well, let's take a look. What do we expect it to be? You expect it to be 0 because you've polarized the light coming in vertically, and now you have a horizontal filter. Nothing is going to get through that filter. But let's look at the numbers and make sure it works out that way. So what we have here is the intensity at point F is going to be the intensity coming into that filter multiplied by cosine squared phi, where that's the angle between the two polarizing filters. And so what do we end up with here? We end up with the cosine squared of 90 degrees, which is 0. Now we're going to insert another polarizer at position C, oriented sort of in between at 30 degrees with respect to the vertical. So let's take a look at what happens at the to the intensity of the light at the other locations. So we already know that the intensity here at point B is our incoming intensity over 2. So let's figure out what it is at point D. And that's going to equal the intensity on the left side of the polarizer times the square of the cosine of the angle that the polarizer makes with the previous polarizer. And so what do we get? We get on the left side of the polarizer at position C, we have an intensity of I naught over 2. And our polarizers are 30 degrees apart. And so what do I end up with? I end up with I naught over 2 times 3/4, which is 3/8 times the original intensity, or 0.375. And now let's look at what happens at point F. So we've got this, what did we say it was? 3/8 I0. And now we're looking out here, what's the intensity on the other side of that polarizer? Before it was 0, right? We had just polarizers A and E in place, and on the right side of that last polarizer the intensity was 0. Now we've inserted an extra polarizer in between, and you'll see that it's no longer 0. So we need our intensity at point D times the cosine squared of the angle, and I'm going to call this, I'll put a prime on that because this angle is a little bit different than the last angle. This angle is the difference between the middle polarizer and the 90 degrees. It's going to be 60 degrees this time. And the intensity at point D was 3/8 I naught. And we've got cosine squared 60 degrees, which is a quarter. And so we get 3/32 I naught, or if you prefer, 0.094. So light is very interesting. You have just polarizers A and E in place, you get no light coming out on the right side of this whole setup. But you insert an extra polarizer in the middle, and all of a sudden you can get light out.